All right, I'm going to go over the Yourturn pages for you in the practice book. First page is page 81, going over vocabulary, assuring, detected, pursuit, previous, gratitude, outcome, emerge, and guidance. Finish each sentence using the vocabulary word provided. I included a document for you this week that has an overview of what we're doing in Wonders, and it has the vocabulary definitions at the bottom of the page. So you might want to take a look at that as you are completing this page. The next page we are skipping. You can fill it out if you want as you're going along. It's good practice. It's not required. The next page, the comprehension and fluency. This page we're using for the fluency check later on in the week. I scheduled that for Wednesday. But the fluency check page is here. But for the beginning of the week, you are reading the story, and it's a 2-page story, and answering the questions. Reread the passage and answer the questions on theme and fluency. When the animals hold a meeting about the moose, what do they say and do? Write down what they say and do. What does the fly do after the meeting? How do the animals react? Go back to the story. What does the fly do after the meeting, and how do the animals react? Number 3, what is the message of this story? So you're looking at theme here. What is the author's message to you? The next page, the hunter genre literary elements. You're reading this short passage and you're answering the questions. How do you know this is a folk tale? Remember, you can look in your Reader's Writer's Workbook, and you can look at the overview page on what a folk tale is. That might help you here. What examples of foreshadowing does this text include? Remember, foreshadowing is giving you a hint about something that's going to happen down the road. It's giving you a little hint about what's happening next. And what lesson does the text contain? What lessons do we have inside the text? And the last question, what example of imagery does the text include? What is the effect of this imagery? Imagery are words that paint pictures for you. So what image does the author try to share with you? The next page is on personification. That's our vocabulary strategy this week. That's one of the writer's crafts. Remember, a personification is when you are taking a thing that's not living and you're giving it characteristics of something that is living. Read each passage, underline the word or words that show personification, then write a sentence about the mental picture you have of the thing described. When the world was young, a long river wandered through a large forest. So our personification is a long river wandered. Because people wander, rivers don't wander. But what image are you getting of that river? Is it a long, straight river, or is it a bendy kind of a river? And that's what you would write about. Write a sentence about the mental picture you have of the thing described. So you would say, I'm imagining the long river wandering is a river that's bending instead of flowing in a straight line through a forest. The next page is our phonics page, working on contractions. And there's video posted in your Google Classroom to help you out with contractions. And contractions are when we take 2 words and smash them together and make them one word. Use an apostrophe to take the place of missing letters. So your becomes you are. What's becomes what is, and so on. And our writing traits page, we're focusing on organization. Reread the draft model. Remember, this is the bad writing, and we're going to fix it. Use the questions that follow the draft to help you think about what details you can add or change to make the story clear and easy to follow. Cinderella has many features of a folk tale. And as you read through that, you're going to, number 1, what sequence words and phrases could be added to make events easier to follow? So you can use sequence words like first, next, last, finally, or then, or later, words that indicate a sequence or an order in time. And how could sentences or ideas be rearranged to help logically organize the text? So we want to probably put the draft model. We want to put the sentences in sequence order, in time order. We might need to move some of them around. And what other changes could be made to improve the text flow? Then you revise and write your draft down at the bottom of the improved writing. And then the last thing for this week is the right to source. Callie wrote the paragraphs below using text evidence from two different sources to respond to the prompt, using details from Blanca Floor and the selection from tail to table. Write a short narrative in which Blanca Floor helps Alfonso make bread. So that was her response, is written there. And then you're going to reread the passage and follow the directions below. Circle time order words, draw a box around the sentence, underline the sentence that includes figurative language, and write an example of a possessive noun that appears in the passage. So there you go. There's your directions for the Your Turn pages.